So this is Lizzie from Love from Lizzie, and today I'm bringing you 3 cards, 1 pack using the Vintage Blooms Mega Pack. And I will be jumping straight in with the first card, as ever, because we have 3 cards to get through in not so much time. And all I'm doing here is, in the Mega Pack comes 2 sheets of this warm gold foil cardstock, and there's an embossing folder in this particular one. So I've run that through my Big Shots on the embossing plate run through, I suppose, and I'm just using my my Tim Holtz tonic trimmer just to sort of take the edges away. And I keep all of these little scraps, they all come in use, and that's just the reverse side of the embossing, but it looks amazing on the foil. And here I'm making my card base, and all that I do with that is I use a piece of A4 cardstock, which is the cardstock that we have in the UK, and split it in half and fold it, much the same as you would do with your American size, and it's only ever so slightly different. But here I'm using multi-medium in the matte finish purely because it has such a good hold. Now, paper to paper, you really, as far as I'm concerned, you can use most any glue. However, because there are parts that are raised, it's just, I know that I'm going to get a really good firm hold this way. So give it a little press to make sure that it is firmly in place, and now I'm good to go. Now I've chosen my sentiment here, and you could use a die, you could use like a fishtail banner die, nice and easily, but I'm just showing you that you don't have to have all the tools. If you don't have them, it's not a problem. And all I did was I measured up using the side of using the stamp to make sure that it was going to be big enough, and then to make a fishtail I just drew a dot in the middle a little way up, and then I just cut into that dot. And here, as it's a brand new stamp, I rubbed it a bit on my hands, but with Versamark it isn't generally necessary because it's so sticky that it will cling to even a brand new stamp. I did anti-static the piece of pattern paper as well before I started there. I just wanted to make sure I said that because it is pesky when you're trying to do the heat embossing and you get the little grains sticking where they shouldn't be. So I'm using Simon Says Stamp Antique Gold because it goes beautifully with the warm gold cardstock. And here I'm just stamping a couple of the little butterflies, the silhouette butterflies, that were also in the stamp set that came in the Mega Pack. And then I'm heating it up. And I think this might actually be my favourite embossing powder to watch turn, so I left that one in for you. And now I'm just going to use some 3D foam tape just to lift the banner off the card because of the foil, it is quite an opulent card. I just wanted to keep it quite straightforward and simple, so a little bit of dimension beyond, and also with that much adhesive being on the back of it, it's gonna have a firm hold even on all the raised. But there we go. So there's card 1 finished. Card 2. Okay, I'm using the other half of my A4 cardstock to make my card base there. Just use my bone folder to get a really nice good crease. And this, I think, may be my favourite paper from the pack. I love pearlescent, I love shine, I'm like a true magpie. And here I'm using my Nouveau glue pen, my Tonic Nouveau glue pen. I used it in both sizes just to make sure that I got right up to the edge, and then the large one because I'm lazy. And instead of cutting the paper, I actually put the card base directly onto the paper because, as I said, this is my favourite of the patterns. I don't want to waste any of it, and this way that actually is zero waste. And larger scissors make doing that so much easier. So I started with the small ones because they were closest and then did switch, but it's only for that reason. Okay, so I'm using 2 of the dies that came in the Mega Pack. I'm using, no, I apologise, one die. Sorry, jumping ahead of myself here. It's the dragonfly, and I cut the dragonfly 3 times from a little bit of the waist, and I am bringing in some of my border peel-offs here. These are my own. I have them manufactured, and they have been ever so well received, and I love the quality of them. I know obviously they're mine, so I'm going to, but I'm ever so pleased with the factory that are making them for me. They are the best. But I've used 2 different sizes, and I've used 2 of one and 1 narrower one, and I've spread them apart slightly different. Now that top dragonfly that you're seeing me stick down there hasn't got all of its wings to the left hand side, but that was intentional. I knew that I would want to have one coming off the edge of the page, and again, this is me just being frugal with my cardstock. Okay, so here I wanted to do the sentiment, and I didn't want to use a pattern paper because I didn't want to take away from the pattern of the background. So I'm using the reverse side of that paper because it's pearlescent, so it will still match in, but it won't take away any of the glory. So I'm just snipping it round. I could have fussy cut it into the scallops, however, I don't think it was necessary, and again, there's enough going on the card. So you could have used a die if you wanted to. I use a little bit of foam tape there, and I pop it up over the peel-offs on the belt of the card, and that's card 2 done. Very simple, but these papers and these designs, they need very little. They sing all by themselves. So here for card 3, I'm taking there's like a diagonal striped piece, and I'm just cutting some of the stripes. I do actually cut another one. Because I did actually have an idea for this card. Usually when I start making a card, I have got no idea which direction it's going to go in, but this one, I did have an idea. So here I am making another card base up, just out of a half a sheet of A4 cardstock. And then I'm going to, much the same as I did in the last card, I'm just going to cover the card base in glue, and then take that to the paper, so that I'm not wasting any of the pattern paper. Now, really, with the mega pack, you can afford to waste a bit of paper because there is 2 of each sheet, and I put 8 by 8 inch cardstock, paper stock in. So you have got lots and lots of it. However, it doesn't sit right wasting pretty things with me, so where I can, I won't. So I have covered the whole card base there, and now using my Nuvo pen again, I am covering this triangle in glue, and then just sticking it right into the corner there. Now I am dry fitting the next stripe, which was in the order, if you like, to cut it, and then I've put glue on the next piece, and having them really butted up against each other so you can't see the cuts. I laid that one down. I've taken the middle section out again, and then here I have been really generous with foam squares all along the back. If you've got a narrow foam tape, that would probably work better, because this is paper. It's not quite as stable as like a piece of card would be. So I mean, you could back the paper onto a piece of card with hindsight. That may have been a better idea. And this is another hindsight one here. I put some peel-offs on that raised piece. Now, it was fine, but it was more difficult than it needed to be. Had I have done this before I'd foam mounted it, it would have been easier. So anyway, here's me being all frugal. Using every little last piece of that mirror card. This leaf die is part of the mega pack, and I cut 5 of them from the mirror. And now this is, if I'm honest, where it's probably not very nice to follow along from me if you want to case my cards, because I don't measure anything. I do almost everything by eye, and this is just another example of it. It would be very easy to do, to measure out. All you would need is to divide it into 5 sections and go from there, see what the spacing would need to be. But when I do things by eye, I place the middle. I always place the middle, and then I work sort of outwards, depending on how many I have to place. Now, I knew that I had 2 left, so I had to fit 2 left on either side, and so it's also quite a bit of luck involved. This did work out on this occasion. Sometimes I do have to pull them up and rearrange them a bit, but I'm not a fan of dealing with measurements and numbers, largely speaking. But anyway, so the little orange stripe is the one that I've raised below the leaves, and so the other orange stripe I've put some Nuvo drops on, and these are in Neptune, and I run 2 rows of the dots, and now I'm just decorating the pattern paper. Now, I really enjoy doing this. This is one of my favourite things to do, is if you have like a non-specialty pattern paper, making it specialty. So there's my finished card. So there are 3 cards, and here are some still shots now. I have had special requests for Birthday Bonanza, which I will do my utmost to make my next 3 cards 1 pack video. I have got an awful lot of mega packs available in the shop, so I am fervently working my way through to try to get as many as possible with 3 cards 1 pack videos. Thanks for sticking with me. Until next time, take care. Bye.